What's up guys, it's Norkle here, and I know I promised that we're gonna be doing a setup / room and Q&A tour vlog once I hit 500 subscribers. And we actually hit 500 subscribers 2 weeks ago. And I'm so happy to announce it, but at the time of filming, we actually hit 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube. So I thank you guys all for your support. But here's the thing, I'm still late and I'm so sorry. We're doing the video now. Like I keep saying, better late than never. So for today, I'm just gonna be showing you guys through my studio room and also take you through the gear that I have on my desk and how it fits in my workflow. I've chosen to split the Q&A vlog from the tour because the tour is actually quite a very substantial topic that I'm gonna be going through. The last time I tried to film this, and believe it or not, this is a reshoot. You know, the footage was basically 30 minutes and I don't want you to put you through that. We're gonna cut it down, so I'm reshooting it and let's get it started. Super excited to bring you around the space where everything happens. And again, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe now and hit that notification bell because I do have a lot more interesting content and things to help you become a better streamer, content creator, and make sure, you know, just pretty much making sure you get the best out of your gear. So let's get it started. Before we continue the video, I would actually suggest that you hop on over to my Twitch so that you can see me in action. And if you watch a few minutes of my VODs, you know, this setup tour will make a lot of sense because you will kind of understand how I create my content live and you will have a glimpse into my workflow. Also, don't forget that if you need help on your stream and on your gear, you can actually put a comment down below, but also you can message me at Discord. So I'll link my Discord down below. Here's the thing, I'm trying to lessen my dependency on Facebook and I actually have less activity there. I know that some of you message me and ask for help and also ask for recommendations, and sometimes I don't see them. So make sure that you join the Discord so that we can chat there. Send a message in the stream support text channel. Let's get started in the video. Now, this setup that I have right here, what you are currently not yet seeing, is a culmination of around 4.5 months of investment, right? So the way I approach this is that when I started out seriously streaming back in May, you know, mid-May, I wasn't sure that I could actually get back on the saddle. I used to be a streamer before, back in 2017. I had to quit because of life. And I wasn't sure if I could, you know, revive my community or if I could actually become a well-known streamer or at least offer something unique, because there are already so many streamers because of the quarantine, the lockdown. A lot of streamers and content creators have been coming in. I'm not sure if I can offer something unique. So what I did was I just invested in the minimum things that I needed and started from there. And when I saw that I had a more dedicated following and my numbers were growing and people actually wanted to see my content, when I hit certain milestones, like I believe my first milestone was 800 and then 1,000 and then 1,500 and then 2,500, I would invest in a new piece of gear. And it's really because I believe that you should not risk all of your savings, right? And if you see this microphone, the stand, you know, the quality of production value here in my room and all of my gear there, don't think that I just went ahead and bought all the stuff that I really want. And I'm also not going to advocate for that. That's why I make tutorials on how to get the best out of your budget gear, because not everyone should start and spend so much money on a proper streaming setup. You know, it doesn't make sense. You have to first learn the craft. You have to build a community, and then you start investing in the gear. That is my suggestion. However, if you have money and you just want to invest in gear at day one, go for it. I think having the best type of gear positions you to create better content. You know, it also there's a placebo effect somehow that makes you feel like, yeah, I'm a professional content creator. And, you know, that really helps. But it also puts you in a lot of risk. So don't assume that I just went ahead and bought everything in one go. It was a process of actually growing with my stream. So that's the key word. Now then, let's show you around. So this is how the studio looks like from the door. When we walk back in here, this is my box shelf. And yes, we take care of our boxes if you are a legit big brain person. Yeah, I'm going after you, Matteo Guidicelli. This is the background. It has some acoustic foam. It also has acoustic foam here because this is basically where I sit, and it deals with the early reflections. I do have a lamp here. It's the Lasco RGB lamp. and you can buy this off of Lazada. And this is another RGB lamp paired with my trusty desk lamp. This desk is the IKEA Linmon Adels, 150 centimeters. This used to be my main desk that I use prior to moving on to this setup. And this is the my actual setup. This is my content creation slash streaming slash work from home setup. As you can see, all of the stuff are there. I'll walk through them one by one. We have the lights here. We have another light here. This is my hair light. And of course, you know, what more do you need to get in the mood than a nice view of the Makati, Rockwell, and the BGC skyline? So, yeah. So now that you've seen the setup, I'm gonna go back to desktop view and let's talk about my gear. Hey guys, so we're here in front of my computer. I'm right beside the computer and I'm gonna be showing you the computer at around this angle. And I'm gonna have to be talking like this, okay, so that I can actually walk you through. And I'm sorry for that. That's the best way that we can do it because I realize that I lack an extra phone holder so that I can actually have two angles. So I'm gonna be rectifying that very soon. Anyway, let's get to the tour. Okay, so the first thing that I want to show you guys is actually this thing right here. So this is my PC. This is actually a 3-year-old PC. I got this at around April 2017. And this is a PC that has the i7-6700K and also the 2070 Super. It used to have a 1080 Ti with it, but I invested in the 2070 Super because it has the new NVENC chip and the quality has improved by leaps and bounds. And the rest of the system is actually pretty standard. You got the RAM there, it's 16 gigabytes, DDR4, 3000 megahertz. I've got like 2 terabytes of storage, 1 terabyte of hard drive, and another terabyte of SSG. Everything's pretty standard there. Let's also talk about the 2 monitors and displays that I have here. This is actually the Acer Predator XB271HU. This one replaced my old monitor. When I got this computer, I actually had an ultra-wide monitor. It was the Acer X34. So it was 100 hertz, high refresh rate, G-Sync, 1440p ultra-wide, and it's actually really massive. It's probably like this big compared to this. Now, I switched to this, you know, the standard resolution because people think that you can actually use the ultra-wide as 2 monitors, but you know, it's not that simple. There are a lot of errors with it. It's better to actually have a 2-monitor solution. So I sold that. I bought this, and this one is a beast of a monitor. It's 144 hertz and it's overclockable to 165 hertz, 1440p, IPS panel. And while the XB271HU is actually a few years older, the panel is actually top of the line. So I believe that there's an equivalent monitor using the same panel from the ROG line and the Gigabyte line. I'm not sure which one. That costs twice the price, but the panel is like crazy good on this monitor. The second one is actually a generic Chinese monitor. It's called the Bezel 27-inch 144 hertz VA panel. It's also 1440p and it's also overclockable to 165 hertz. Now this one, I bought this initially to pair with my X34 secondary monitor, but then I quickly transitioned to using this as my main monitor just because, you know, it's actually pretty good. To be fair, it's great with movement. Even if it's a VA panel, you don't get the same clarity with the IPS, but man, movement here is just silky smooth, even silky smoother than this one. So I do recommend it. This is actually relatively cheap in our local currency. This is around 12,000 pesos, I think, including delivery as well. And for the price of 12,000 pesos, which is around $240, you know, the functionalities and the features and the quality is actually pretty good. So that's it for my monitors. Let's move on to perhaps my audio solution right here that I'm wearing. I'm sure you noticed that this headphone is not exactly the usual gamer type of headphone that you usually see. And you're correct, these are actually studio reference headphones and they're called the Beyerdynamic DT 770 Pro, and it's the 250 ohm version. Basically, I have it paired up with this headphone amp. I'm not sure if you can see it. This is a headphone amp and this is called the S.M.S.L SP200, and this one is super cool. Lots of power to drive this, and because it's a 250 ohm version, you need to actually have a lot of power. The usual, I don't know what you call it, but the usual ohm range for the typical consumer headsets are around 32 ohms. And if you have a 32 ohm headset, you can plug it straight to your computer. But if I plug this straight to my computer, the computer won't be able to drive it. So we need a separate amp. Thing is, why did I choose this over, you know, proven gamer products like Virtual 7.0 7.1 surround sound. Here's the thing. This is a studio headphone, and this has been used in studios for decades. The reason why people use studio headphones is that it has a flat response, and they can hear everything, sound, music, as it was intended and designed by the creator. So when I put these on, imagine clarity. Imagine that the music is not overridden by bass, but it's still bassy. This is super bassy. I mean, for a studio headphone, but you hear details that you usually don't hear. Now, people say that if you want a quality headphone, you kind of need it should be bass, it's always bass focused. But that's the thing. People try to make up for clarity by adding bass and say it's a gaming product, to make it boomy. And when I switched over to this, I felt I could hear details. Like, for example, one game that really made me smile was the Rise of the Tomb Raider. And then when I heard that her jumping and the crinkling of her feet actually sounded like right beside me, there were rocks falling apart and there were things falling on the ruins. That put a smile on my face because it sounds so clear. Right? So I would recommend these ones are actually almost the same price or actually cheaper than the Arctis Pro. So if you get the chance, maybe get the 32 or 80 ohm version so you don't have to buy this because this is like a bit more expensive than the headphone. But if you have the budget, spend for both. Don't spend for that virtual 7.1 surround crap. Okay, buy good reference headphones and make sure you buy the version that you are prepared to spend for when you want to drive it properly. Okay, so Beyerdynamic DT 770 Pro. I love this. I'm never going back to gaming gear. Never again. Thank you very much. Now for my speakers, these are the Z623 from Logitech. So this is actually the oldest part of my setup. This used to be from a previous build prior to the refrigerator. Oh, by the way, I called my PC the refrigerator. And they're super good. They're just absolutely clear. And I love the bass on this. There's a bass knob to increase the bass if I need additional bass, So super, super happy with the performance of these speakers. Anyway, sorry, got distracted there. There's someone who sent the message. I closed it already. Now let's go on to peripherals before we get onto the dedicated streaming stuff. So I'm using this keyboard is the Logitech G Pro X, and this keyboard is rocking a linear switch. It's the Gateron Milky Yellow switch paired with the GMK Hyperfuse. And if you notice that there's some keycaps that are not from the same key set, it's because the bottom row is non-standard. This is a great keyboard, a bit expensive, but a great keyboard because I can just literally pull out the switches. But it's non-standard. The space bar is, I think, too long. And then the function keys are too small relative to the normal ones. And when I press the F buttons, sometimes they get stuck in the chassis. But this is a great keyboard. And I actually wanted to buy a Rack Lamang Pro because the Lamang Pro is like half or 40% of the price of this keyboard, but it was all out of stock because you guys kept buying it. Just kidding. And my custom keyboard broke. So I said, hey, if I want to buy another keyboard, I want it to be hot swappable. If I decide to do another custom build, I can test switches first before actually investing in the build. So the G Pro X, this is like a wood wrist rest from KBD Fans. So it's in the, I bought this from a group buy dude called Irvin D in the Mechanical Keyboard Warriors Facebook group. So yeah, and this mouse is the G502 Lightspeed wireless. So it's a wireless mouse, really nice mouse. I removed the skates. These are the Tiger skates, so these are super smooth. Because usually the Logitech feet that came with it is kind of scratchy, even with their mouse pad. And this mouse pad is actually the Logitech PowerPlay mat. So this means that while I'm using the mouse on this pad is charging the mouse, right? And buying these two is actually quite an investment. You can actually, I think if I remember correctly, if I buy both of these at retail, I got one of this one used and this one brand new, but from a third-party seller. If you buy this brand new, you can buy a GPU. But here's the thing. I intend to use this forever. Super happy with it. I don't have to plug the mouse anymore. I'm so happy. I can move my hand around and things like that. And I don't have that much cables in front of me. This one is the Xbox One controller. I like the color because it matches my keycaps. So basically, I use this for Fall Guys and Tomb Raider and stuff like that. Oh, by the way, let's not forget one of the most important things, guys. If you're a streamer and you use your voice on our side end, get water. So this is my 1.5 liter water bottle, and this one is basically my quota. I have to finish a full supply of water in this on a daily basis. Okay, I also have this, this random knife. I do have a knife. This is like part of the, YouTuber starter pack, right? You see them, you have nice knives. So I have a knife here, so to get some of that unboxing action. And, if I do need to get into real life action, like someone walks in from the door, watch out! Okay, I have a weapon there. Okay, now let's go to the exciting part, which is probably what you're watching this video for. And we're going to talk about, the streaming gear, the gear that I use for streaming here in this setup. And let's start with the microphone. So this is my microphone. Hope you can see it. And this microphone is the Rode Procaster. Okay, so this is a dynamic mic, and this is one of the most popular mics actually in the Philippines when it comes to broadcasting. So I'm sure you've seen this in the Wishbus videos. So the Wishbus uses these microphones. The new studio of Rafi Tulfo actually uses 2 Procasters, and also even this guy's Toast uses a Procaster. So this is great value. This is often compared to the Shure SM7B, and the Shure SM7B here, I couldn't find it reasonably priced. I had to order it somewhere in another country, but this was the best one that I can get here, and super great value. Super happy to really recommend this, and huge freaking step up from the BM800, but it's also a huge cost compared to the BM800. But if you really want to sound professional and you want to have clarity and you want your voice to have that, boominess whenever you're talking to it, make sure you get this. It's mounted on the Rode PSM1. This is the shock mount, and this is also another legendary Rode product, the PSA1. It's the boom arm. I'm gonna lean back a bit to show you. So this one is super high quality. The beauty of this boom arm is that this stays the same. The orientation stays the same whether you bring it down, up, like that. See what I mean? Like, you just move it, it stays in the same position. It doesn't really matter. And if you have a BM800 and you bought it in a package, the one with the stand with the boom arm, that's not the case. You have to adjust everything when you move it around. So that's super important. And I'm sure almost all of the streamers that I see who are quite big use this. This is a bit pricey. This one can get you a good USB mic, I think, this arm. But this one is built like a tank. It's like it's thick. It's like 3 times thicker or 4 times dense than the boom arm with the BM800, which I have, and I can literally compare it. I'm super happy with this. This is one of the things that you will never have to replace. So yeah, that's basically my microphone and the boom arm solution. And this microphone is actually paired with the GoXLR Mini. So this is actually not a very popular audio interface locally because it's not available. But GoXLR actually is a brand. If you look at YouTube, it's streamers, and you search audio, and when you look at the videos of Harris Heller, Epos Vox, Gaming Couriers, etc., they're all going to be recommending the GoXLR. So specifically actually US and Europe based people. And I actually used this, replaced my previous audio interface called the Behringer Q502 USB, which I talked about in some previous videos, like the BM800 tips and then the do not buy the V8 sound card. And this one is super good. I know only of one other streamer who's using it locally, and that's Alden Richards, right? I had to order this from a store called musicstore.com or .de from Germany. So got this shipped from Cologne. And it took around 3 weeks to get here, and then I didn't know that I should pick it up at the post office, and it's been there for a week. So I literally got this like 3 days ago, and it's been super nice. The beauty of the GoXLR is that these physical faders, and as you can see, there's not much inputs here. You can map this to individual software. If you had like the mixer, right? So the original mixer. Actually, let me get the mixer for you. Hi guys, let's say this thing is the microphone volume, the sound of your Discord, sound of your game. Let's say these are the 3 things. The beauty of it is you can plug stuff in software, whereas if you want to say, for example, Discord, you need to plug another thing here, a physical plug here. And what this one does is that it takes all of these plugs and turns them into software so that you can map things around. So this one, for me, the way that I've configured it is this is the mic, this one is my Discord, this one is my Chrome or music player or Spotify, lo-fi, and this one is system sounds, or sometimes I remap it to game settings, and it's super nice. It's built solidly. It's plasticky, but it's pretty hefty. I'm gonna say, and it's freaking beautiful. This is like RGB. You know, GoXLR knows that this is RGB. The RGB thing is great. So I have this like vaporwave purple thing going on, and it's super nice. By the way, if you don't know the brand, GoXLR is actually a sister company of Behringer. So the owners of Behringer, or at least like shareholders of Behringer, or the parent company of Behringer, actually has a stake in GoXLR. So, you know, they know their business. They're a reputable company. If you guys are curious as to how my ordering process from musicstore.de, let me know down in the comments, and I can make a video out of it. Now, this one is actually the Stream Deck. I have the Stream Deck XL here. This is the 32-key version, and I'm super happy with it. I can say to you that now that I've used it, I cannot live without it. Here's the thing. This is a type of gear that you feel that, you know, when you're starting out, or it's a stream, it's a luxury. But here's the thing, what it is, I guess, a luxury. When you're starting out, you should practice the fundamentals, like your content creation, your speaking to the chat, you know, your gameplay, etc. But when you have the fundamentals down, I would suggest you invest in this, because this one allows you a lot of content creation opportunities. When you are in a live broadcast situation, things are more hardware dependent, so that you can always do things in the fly. It's not like editing, right? So if you make a mistake while shooting it, you can fix it. You know, you can EQ it with, for example, Audacity, the audio tracks, or clean it up with Premiere Pro. No, you have to do it on the fly, and you can't spend like time, you know, fiddling around with the software while talking to your viewers, because that's distracting. And second, you know, it's also a pain. It can throw you off in the zone when you're in your entertainment mode. So this one is great. I use this a lot. So I use this to switch scenes. So I'm gonna quickly show you right now, because I'm recording via OBS. Like this one, I push the button to show it in my game scene. I'm changing it again to be able to, you know, go to my just chatting scene. Then I'm gonna bring it back to my recording scene. I can, you know, start the stream. I can start recording. I can do sound effects. Apparently voice mod is not working, but my sound effects are here. I can do my voice changer stuff, etc., etc., and also even control my lights. Like for example, like this one, I can change my lights. I can even turn them off, you know, and then make it look super dark. But yeah, this is an excellent piece of kit. So actually, basically, that's pretty much the entire technology setup. And the next things I'm going to show you are pretty much not technical, but super important to the experience. This one is my table. This is a custom table that I got from Wood Edge. So shout out to Wood Edge. It was a great price. It was just, I think, similar in price to a 200 centimeter Linmon Adels IKEA desk. But, you know, this one is like load bearing, super stable. They showed me like the frame. People of like 150 plus pounds can stand on it, and it wouldn't flex or budge. Super solid, custom. I even have like their cutouts here. I'm not sure if you can see it, but cutouts here to drop your cables in. There's even what's it called? There's a tray. I don't think it's a tray, but it's like a sub table attached to the table underneath to put, you know, the extension cord. So there's like a mini platform there. I'm super happy. You know, go reach out to them. Shout out. I'm not sponsored by them. I wish I was. Baka naman Wood Edge, but you know, they make good stuff. Like they completed this table for me in like a week. They were even saying like it was 5 days, but it was raining, so they had to wait more to let the table cure. So yeah, that's the table. And then my seat. A lot of people are asking me about my seat. I'll quickly stand up and show it to you guys. So the seat that you saw was the Fursis T50. So you can reach the local Fursis store. This is probably the best chair that I've owned. This is the second best chair, probably office ergo chair that I've sat on, because I've worked in an office that had Herman Miller chairs, and I could say that these chairs, you know, are comparable to Herman Miller's at like a third or 40% of the price, you know. So I recommend that you reach out to him. You know, I have the sales guy that I have. His name is Kenneth. So when you reach out to AIO, and I think the name of the local distributor of Fursis, look for Kenneth. He's the sales guy. He treated me super well. And by the way, the T50 is a Korean product made by a Korean company. And it's actually pretty popular. So if you looked at like office romances and K-dramas, you would see this chair. So it's actually a really, really popular chair. So yeah, pretty much I think that's all the things that matter here in my setup. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let's change the view again. Wow. There you go, guys. I've showed you my setup. I really enjoyed showing you guys around and telling you about my thought process around building this setup over time. If you have any questions, please make sure to put them in the comments down below and I'll see if I can answer them in my next Q&A video. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure that you click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I release the new video. My next video is a Q&A video, and I actually have some other audio related videos planned out to maximize your BM800 and maybe even a follow-up to the V8 sound card video, so make sure you stay tuned for those. I changed my ambiance compared to the intro because I'm actually literally about to stream. So I stream at twitch.tv/Norclaw. I stream there every day at 7 p.m. GMT +8, so you can catch me there. Let's hang out, ask me about your stream, tell me about your day, and let's have fun together. Thank you guys. Norclaw here signing off. Lahat tayo aangat, all will rise.